All right, guys. So hopefully you had a little opportunity to digest some of the stuff that I went over in that little talk that I just gave. Hopefully it all made sense. You can always reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns about these things. But I would like to complement this conversation about death, which hopefully you didn't construe as being negative, and kind of pair it with a movement practice. So as I mentioned earlier, that old Chinese adage that you're only as old as your spine, it's pretty true. Everything kind of originates, all your movements kind of originate from your spine. So, and that means a lot of different things. Your rib cage is an extension of your spine, and your rib cage and all the muscles attached to it, as well as the tissues within, are the reason that your lungs move in the way that we physiologically breathe. So maybe you just start by closing your eyes and just kind of feel that sensation. Feeling that very steady rhythm that keeps you going. So maybe with your eyes closed, notice if you can kind of identify any imbalances. If you have one shoulder that tends to shrug up, or you have one hip that tends to click or hurt a little bit more than the other one, or if you have anything that you've been diagnosed with, like scoliosis or any other kind of spinal disorder. Just remember, one of the elements of this concept is that we're working with what we've got. This is a matter of identifying and meditating on what we're blessed with right now, what our abilities are right now, not what they will be or what they were. So you can keep your eyes open or closed. I'm going to use some visual cues for this next movement, just in case it's a little bit esoteric or weird. So what we're going to kind of focus on the three different segments of the spine. So the cervical spine, thoracic, or from here to here, and then your lumbar spine is down low, just above your pelvis. So let's start by just getting the cervical spine moving a little bit. So first thing, let's just activate some of the muscles at the back of the skull. So think about finding some length. So it's one thing to sit up taller like this, and you kind of feel like this stretching sensation underneath the occiput or the two little bumps in the back of your skull. What I want you to focus on is this drawing back of the chin. So think about lengthening through the spine, so pressing your head up into your hand in this instance. But also imagine if your head were on a shelf, and that you're not tilting your head down, you're sliding your head back on that shelf. So notice I'm just pushing with my finger very subtly. So I'm basically just trying to make a double chin. So just go through this movement 5 or 6 times, just kind of feeling that length at the back of your neck. And on this last one, let's hold. Just holding this little chin tuck. So that little movement comes in handy a lot during a typical yoga practice, so we'll kind of come back to that as we go. But for now, just find that chin tuck, draw your attention down the tip of your nose, and just soften your gaze, soften your face. And again, returning to those big breaths. So let's return to the closed eyes position. You can change your leg position if your legs are falling asleep or anything, getting uncomfortable, but find stillness once again when you can. Now kind of just see how that natural transition right at the base of your neck into your thoracic spine. And see if you can identify the sensation of your rib cage really expanding with these slightly bigger inhales and exhales. So maintaining that little chin tuck as if you're trying to stack each vertebra vertically, even though that's pretty hard to do. Now with just the subtlest motion of tucking your pelvis under, so trying to flatten your low back slightly. So notice as you do all these little motions, as you draw your chin back, we're getting closer to the throat lock, one of the bandhas. The rib cage is expanding and contracting, just kind of getting your lungs to go through their full potential. And with that tucking under, your pelvic floor automatically draws up and in a little bit. So even here, before we start moving, just those small spinal adjustments and noticing is just going to get you into this other state of awareness. All right, you can go ahead and blink your eyes open. I want you to maintain that chin tuck as much as you can through the practice today. So especially right now in this next movement, reach your right hand out to the right, fingertips down. Doesn't matter what position you're sitting in on. Even if you're in a chair, you're just reaching away from your body. You don't have to touch the floor either. Chin tuck, bring your left hand up and over. Draw your head over gently, but also think about reaching through that right middle finger. So option always to close your eyes during a yoga practice. I mean, I'll encourage you to do that all the time just because I feel like it gives it an extra layer of just understanding of your body, just feeling it. But notice how as you draw your head over a little bit more, not forcefully, but you are drawing it over nonetheless. It's the curve of your spine slowly going like this, just until you feel like you've come to that point where you feel a nice stretch. Once you feel that nice stretch, instead of pulling more, reach more through the right hand. Inhale one more time. And with your exhale, maybe assisting your head back to the center. Let's do the same thing on the other side, reaching your left hand away from your body. So find that tall posture, find that chin tuck. Let your head fall away first. This might be enough. You might not even need to grab over the side of your head, but you can if you want to. Again, still finding big breath, but trying not to let your rib cage tilt back. Again, you'll notice your low back arching, so see if you can identify that scooping under the tailbone. As you gently pull away, just take 3 more big breaths here. Reach a little bit more, shoulder down. Feel those little adjustments. Remember the chin tuck. And again, release, bringing your head up to the top. A couple more little movements here. So hands on top of your thighs. Let's just do a couple of little back bends. Just finding a little kind of cow pose in the seated position. And then a little cat pose, rounding. Nice and gentle still. So see if you can notice that whip, that slow motion whip of your spine as it opens and closes. So coming in extension, that means tilting your head back, back bend, and flexion. Forward fold. Let's do it one more time. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, let's exaggerate this flexion just a little bit. If you feel a stretch in your neck and everything, or if you have any neck injury, just hang out right here. You can also gently grab the back of your head, interlacing your fingers, and just pull your chin down towards your chest a little. So see if you can find the subtlest version of that little chin tuck that we were doing as you draw your chin back. You don't have to go down super far, and you don't have to pull. Just feel the weight of your hands stretching the back of your neck. Inhale one more time. Now with your exhale, release your hands down. Just fold forward over your legs. Even if you're cross-legged, we're just taking a very simple, gentle forward fold. Inhale again. Now with your exhale, walk yourself back up once more. Hands behind the head. This time we'll go the other way. So peel your elbows open wide. Feel the sensation of just engagement between your shoulder blades as you draw your elbows back. Maybe close your eyes, feel those muscles working. See if you can find as even of a bend in your upper back as you can. And again, it's kind of hard to dip into the low back like we do when we're standing a lot here. So just push your head back gently, elbows really wide. Take 2 more big breaths. Think about broadening across the collarbones. For 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and release. Just kind of squirm around a little bit. Move your arms, shake your wrists out a little. Let's go ahead and release the feet. Let's go do a little wrist stretch just because why not? Fingertips pointing back towards your knees. You can also do this one hand at a time if you feel like it's a little bit much for both wrists. Lean back a little bit. Maybe you start to exaggerate this and peel the heels of the hands up. Try not to let your shoulders drop towards your ears. Try to take the tension out of the position. Now find a stretch that feels good for you and hold. We'll be here for about 5 or 6 breaths. So if you're doing one hand at a time, just make sure you give each wrist a little opportunity to get a stretch. Inhale again. Exhale, release. All right, so we started that seated series with side bend, so we'll do the same thing here. I'm going to ask you to come into a side plank position, modified side plank with your knee down. So we'll do left knee down on the ground, but bring your left elbow down as well. So bring your fingertips, your right fingertips to the back of your head. Just kind of peel your chest open. So automatically I feel the underside of my body here starting to engage. And as I peel my elbow open, I start to feel this stretch in the top side of my body. So it's hard in this position not to kind of collapse and stick your butt out. So really think about peeling your chest open. Just do the best you can. And then just extend that right arm forward. So right foot touching the back of the mat, right hand touching the front of the mat. Think about pressing the ground away through both of those bent limbs on the floor. Inhale one more time. And with your exhale, we're just going to switch. So both elbows, both knees down just briefly, and let's come into it this way. Spinning your left foot flat behind you, right hand behind your head. So peel your chest open, draw your elbow up towards the ceiling as best you can. And also balance is kind of hard in this position too. So if it's hard to balance, don't sweat it. Just do the best you can. Reach your left hand forward when you're ready. So again, side to side, we're just noticing, is it harder, is it easier on this side? One more big breath. Really reach through both of those left limbs. Push the ground away through your right limbs. Inhale again. And then with your exhale, both hands down, or both elbows down, I should say. So we're kind of in this like modified tabletop position. Just walk your hands towards the front corners of your mat, come into a puppy pose. So a little back bend, getting some extension. Again, that's the back bending kind of movement in your upper spine. Dip your chest and your chin down, maybe forehead just resting on the mat if that feels better for your neck and shoulders. One more big breath. With your exhale, press your palms down, lift your elbows up, just slide forward until your belly's down on the ground. So as you come into a Cobra Pose, you're going to notice a little bit more of a back bend in the low back, but do try to squeeze your shoulder blades together. Depending on how hard you want to work, you can bring your fingertips to the back of your head again if you want to. Otherwise, just place your hands gently down on the ground. Think about squeezing the muscles between your shoulder blades just like you did in either version. Take 2 more big breaths here. With each exhale, see if you can lift your chest up a little bit more. See if you can come back to that sensation of your rib cage expanding and kind of ballooning you off the ground with your inhales. Keep that height, and as you exhale, just kind of lift up a little bit higher. One more breath. Now with your exhale, push down through your palms, push yourself all the way back to a child's pose. So now as we come into this flex position, again, we're just going to keep working through these different spinal variations through the rest of the practice. So just see how things are feeling. Feel the small of your back stretching. Relax your forehead down. All right. Walk your hands back. So coming back to a kneeling position, this time we're all sitting in this kneel that I was in before. So we'll start with some kind of camel variations. I know that seems like a lot to jump into right at the beginning of the practice, but you'll see they're kind of more approachable ones. So tuck your toes under. You can bring your feet together also, which will helps you engage your glutes a little bit when you're coming into a camel pose or really any other back bend. Press your right hand into the top of your right heel. So bring your left hand to the back of your head, again, like we've been doing for the last couple sequences. And as you drive your hips up and forward, push that heel away. Just think about drawing your left elbow up and across the sky. So maybe you can just kind of cradle your head in your hand, or you can let your gaze drift down towards your right heel as well and reach your left hand across. So this is a lot like if you were in like a floor bow. It's just kind of an inverted position. Inhale one more time. And with your exhale, drive your hips back, just kind of neutralize in the center. Let's just switch. Left hand down to your left heel, right hand comes up. Drive your hips forward, back bend, And again, hand behind the head, maybe again cradling your neck in your hand if you have any kind of neck issues. Or reach and just let your gaze drift down. Inhale one more time. Now with your exhale, back down to the center, fingertips down beside your knees. So again, my toes are tucked under. Inhale, lift your chest a little bit. Exhale, press your heels down, come to a forward fold. So let's just take a ragdoll pose here, keeping it super simple. Bounce around a little bit, just feel the weight of your upper body, getting that nice stretch through your hamstrings. Feel that connection, low back, mid back, neck. And again, if you find yourself up and looking around in this position all the time, just kind of notice how your neck's fighting against the gravity of the rest of your spine. Just let your head rest down. See if you can find some traction here. That's pulling spinal segments apart, just using gravity. Inhale, hands down, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down once again, just the subtlest pull. Bend your knees, roll your spine up. Again, there's that slow motion whip. As you come up, just automatically coming into extension. Peel your chest open, reach your hands back. Inhale, both hands up. Exhale, hands into a prayer position. Again, just like when you're seated, find that little chin tuck, stand up a little bit taller. Feel your rib cage and brace your abs so that your low back starts to flatten. Little pelvic tilt. Scoop your tailbone underneath your body. Feel your pelvic floor rise up. So hands in a prayer. Even as your chest rises up into your thumbs, your abs are braced so that your rib cage isn't tilting back. All right. Inhale, reach both hands up once again. Exhale, right hand down to your thigh. Just slide your right fingertips down. Looking down and maybe even back a little bit, so we're kind of coming back to that little camel variation that we did on the floor. Inhale one more time. Exhale all the way back up, reach. And then bring your left hand down. Side bend, maybe taking that little diagonal movement, looking down, looking forward, whatever feels best for your neck. Either way, try to keep that subtle chin tuck. You can notice you can even keep it if you look down, just tucking your chin slightly so you're staying engaged. Inhale, both hands to the sky. Exhale, cactus elbows, find a back bend. Inhale, both hands up, maybe palms touch. Exhale, wide arms, swan dive all the way down to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flatten out your spine. Exhale, hands down, walk to the front of the mat, plank pose. Inhale, lean forward. Exhale, lower down carefully. Inhale, chest up, shoulders back, a little bit higher than last time. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Take 5 breaths, pushing the ground away through your palms. Again, do your best to tilt your tailbone up, and you'll notice if you unlock your knees, you'll have a little bit more room to find that pelvic tilt. So for this one, we're kind of going the opposite direction. Rather than tucking your tailbone under, think about driving your tailbone up towards the ceiling as you press your chest back towards your toes. You can also find that little chin tuck here, maybe even drawing your gaze up between your knees or thighs. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Exhale, step your right foot between your thumbs, back knee down to the ground. So we're just coming to a low lunge position. So as you sink into your low lunge, just feel that nice little stretch in your hips. We're going to twist right away. So as you bring your left elbow to the top of your thigh, press your palms together. Inhale, lengthen. Again, drawing the top of the head forward, but chin tuck, draw it in. Big inhale. Exhale, press and twist. Just like before, you're trying to lift your chest up into your thumbs. You're just rotating through your spine as you do it. Inhale one more time. Now with your exhale, bring it all the way up and then bring it back and around. Left hand to the back of your left thigh. Slide your fingertips down towards your knee. Just kind of get a little grab here. Shouldn't be sinking back just too far in this one, but just do your best. Inhale again. Now with your exhale, bring your right hand down on the inside of your right foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee up, spin your back heel flat. So notice my shin is vertical. I like to grab my inner right ankle for this next one, or you can keep your right hand on the ground. Open up into a side angle pose. So stacking shoulders, reach through both arms actively. And I'm using my right arm to push my right knee away. Draw your left hand back like you're trying to put the back of your hand against the wall behind you. Inhale one more time. Now with your exhale, both hands down to frame your foot. Inhale, look forward, back heel lifts. Exhale, standing split. Inhale one more time. Exhale, set both feet down. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach both hands up, get long through your whole body. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, reach. Exhale, swan dive. Halfway up. Hands down, step back. Find a solid plank position first. Knees down if you need to, lower down. Inhale, lift your chest. Downward dog. Again, about 5 breaths. Just see how this feels. See if you can draw your tailbone up even a little bit more. Inhale one more time. Lift your left leg. Bring your left foot forward, set it down between your thumbs, back knee to the mat. Bring yourself up into this lunge position. Sink the hip down and forward. Inhale, chest high. Exhale, hands in prayer. Twist to the left. Press your palms together. Again, shoulders down away from your ears as best you can. Continue to twist, continue to stay engaged. Look up towards the ceiling with your right eye. Inhale one more time. Exhale back to the middle. Let's do this little reverse crescent modification. So with the knee on the ground, lifting up, finding that little back bend here. So again, I'm just trying to find the correlation between these positions. So in this case, upper and lower back are doing what they can to get to a back bend. Your thoracic spine where your ribs are tends to be a little bit stickier. So maybe that back bend's not as accessible. One more inhale. Exhale, left hand down. Inside of the foot, spin the back foot flat. So we're coming into that side angle pose one more time. Again, grab your inner ankle if you want to do it like me. Otherwise, hand down. Peel your chest open, grip the ground with both feet. Inhale, lengthen through both arms. Exhale, reach those right knuckles back. Really, again, finding that kind of essence of a back bend in your upper back. Look towards the ceiling with your left eye. Inhale one more time. Exhale, both hands down. Back heel lifts. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, lean forward, lift. Standing split. Let your neck get long, reach just a little bit higher. And then set both feet down at the front. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, slide down. Inhale all the way up to the sky. Once again, reach as long as you can. This time, look up. Lift your heels off the mat. Just find your balance on the tips of your toes. Maybe come up a little bit higher for an extra breath. Inhale once more. Exhale, heels down, hands to prayer. All right, inhale, reach both hands up. One breath, side bend to the right. Inhale, hands up. Side bend to the left. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, back bend. Peel your chest open. Inhale, both hands high. Exhale, hands through prayer. Unlock your knees, bend at the hips, fold forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hands down, step back, plank position. Lean forward, lower down carefully. Inhale, chest up. Up dog if that feels good for you. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts up high. Exhale, swing your right foot forward. Find a lunge, this time with the back knee off the ground. Inhale, both hands up, crescent pose. Exhale, hands in prayer. Twist to the right, left elbow, outer right thigh. Lengthen through your spine. Again, find your balance, find your gaze. Even as you look over the tip of your nose, start to draw your gaze up and over your right shoulder. Inhale again. Now with your exhale, release, twist, back heel drops down. Let's come into a reverse warrior standing this time. You can also bring your left hand behind your back here. So as you draw your hand in around the back of your hips, see if you can find that little back bend and that little reach, finding the top of your right thigh with your left fingertips. If you're holding that, keep holding it. Inhale, reach. Exhale, right hand comes forward. Again, coming into your side angle pose. You can also, just got to adjust my little microphone here. You can also reach underneath and maybe coming around and grabbing or clasping your hands together. Again, peel your chest open, look up towards the ceiling with your right eye. Inhale one more time. Exhale, release. Right hand down in front of your right big toe. You can keep the hand behind the back, hop the back foot in, lean forward and lift. Half moon pose. Whoop. If you fall out of it, just get right back in. Now, if you're feeling ambitious here and you want to take a funky variation, you can reach back and grab your foot and then just kick back into it. So notice I've still got my left hand behind my back. If you're a little bit more practiced, you can also reach back and grab your foot with both hands and kick back. If you're grabbing carefully, release both hands down. Standing split once again. Inhale, lift high. Exhale, bring your left knee to your left calf, and then carefully, slowly, just slide your shin all the way down to the mat. Sit back on your hips. So you're crisscrossing your legs, right leg is on top. Inhale, reach both hands up. Twist your torso to the right. Left or right hand behind you, left elbow to right thigh. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, twist. See if you can identify those three portions of your spine. So lumbar, thoracic, cervical. Cervical again is your neck. Lumbar is your low back. Inhale, chest lifts. Exhale, twist. And see if you can notice those little segments in each area. Use this backhand more for just kind of like a supporting twist, less as a reliant structure. Inhale one more time. Sit up a little bit taller, maybe twist a little bit more. And then nice slow release. Sit back, uncross your legs, Sukhasana, right back where a lot of you probably started. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, round your back. So we're going to come back to a plank pose into another vinyasa. You can do it one of two ways. You can either just step back into it, or you can plant your hands, shoot your feet back to chaturanga, slide through, downward facing dog. Okay, we're going to do that sequence one more time on the other side, just to kind of make things as even as we feel like we can get them. Inhale, left leg lifts, swing it forward, set it down. So again, crescent pose is our first destination, both hands up. Back leg lifted. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hands in prayer. Lean, twist. Just take a couple big breaths here. Again, just really exaggerating the twist of the spine. Inhale one more time. Exhale, reverse warrior. Right heel spins flat. Again, if you want to, draw your hand behind your back, sliding. I can kind of use my hand to assist here, and you can too. Find that little back bend. Maybe look up towards your palm. At this point, your neck might be getting kind of tired. We've been doing quite a bit of back bending, so just listen to your body. You can also always kind of support your head in your hand. I need to do this sometimes too, because I have some neck injuries that tend to flare up if I'm not careful. So support your body whatever way you need to. Inhale one more time. Now with your exhale, start to come forward. So as we come into side angle, once again, try to work the left shoulder down the inside of the left knee. There goes my little microphone thingy, but I'm just going to let it hang. Bring your left hand behind your back. Maybe clasp hands, and maybe peel your chest open a little bit more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Unbind if you're bound. Keep your hand behind your back if it's back there. Left fingertips forward. Lean forward and hop it up. Half moon pose. Pardon me while I make the adjustments with my mic. Gotta keep it moving for you guys, so warts and all. Okay, so maybe that hand's behind the back. Maybe you're still kind of using it for a little gauge of where you're at. See if you can slide your hand further back if you are. Again, maybe, if you feel like you have your balance, I don't know if I do, but I'll give it a shot. Maybe you reach back with your left hand and try to grab your right foot. Maybe you reach back with both hands. I don't think I have that in my practice on this side, but maybe you do. We all have these little imbalances to work with. Just doing the best we can. All right, inhale one more time. Exhale, release. Both hands down. Square your hips off. Okay, one more big breath. Find some lift here in the standing split. And then as you bend your knee, draw it in towards your calf and just slide it down gently. Plant your butt down on the ground. So again, working our way into that twist on the floor. Lord of the Fishes pose, I believe. Matsyendrasana. Hips down on the ground, inhale, reach both hands up. Use your core strength, find the twist, and then exaggerate the twist with the strength of your arms. Remember that left hand behind you is nice and light. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, twist. Four more breaths. See if you can identify each of those three segments of your spine. Is each one twisting, or is one twisting for the other two because they're not participating? Inhale again. Now with your exhale, release back to the middle. All right, guys, this time just lean back, uncross your legs, and extend them out in front of you. So again, back bend, forward fold, back bend, forward fold. We just keep doing these things because we're trying to get this slow motion whip that I keep talking about. You know, this is the center of your practice. So really focusing on these little movements on the slower movement practice. So squeeze your shoulder blades back. Notice my hands are kind of far behind me. My feet are kind of far forward. Press your toes down. Lift your hips up. So if this feels okay and you could go further, you can straighten your legs, lift your hips and press your toes down with straight legs. If it feels like too much, bring your feet back, lift your hips up. Squeeze your butt, squeeze your shoulder blades back. 5, 4, 3, 2, a little bit higher, squeeze. And then with 1, tailbone down, slide your heels out to the front of the mat. Inhale, both hands reach. Exhale, fold forward over your thighs. Let your head drift down. One more big breath. With your exhale, release. Keep your spine rounded. Just go ahead and roll your whole back down onto the ground. Take your time. See what you can do to not flop down. Just use that little bit of core strength. We haven't done a lot of core work in this class, but this one's always a little bit challenging nonetheless. Bring your head down to the ground and rest. Okay, so sometimes for this next funky little variation, and you can just do a basic twist if you want to. I'll cue you for that too, but I like to offer this one because I feel like it kind of goes the extra mile for just like getting everything to integrate. So pull your left knee in towards your chest, and you're going to drop your left knee over the right. So I'm sure you guys have all been here before. It's just a basic twist. Now this is where it gets weird. We can make it a little bit more twisty by bending the bottom leg too. Reach down with your left hand, that's the one that's behind you currently, grab your foot. Now I'm kind of grabbing both legs with opposite hands. Think about peeling your shoulder blades down to the mat to find the twist. And you can place a block underneath your knee and your head, one under each point if you want a little bit more support here. Inhale, press shoulder blades down. Exhale, slowly turn your head just subtly over to the left. Inhale one more time. Exhale, release what you're grabbing. Just bring everything back to the center. Extend both legs out long and just get your spine flat. So just a little brief detour through Shavasana here. Little wiggle of the toes. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Right knee pulls in, give it a squeeze, give it a twist. Again, stay right here. If this feels like plenty for you, there's a little spot for everybody. So if you want to try that other one, reaching back, grabbing both opposite legs with opposite arms. Inhale. Exhale. Peel your shoulder blades down to the ground. Just feel that motion of driving everything down towards the mat. Just kind of let your head loll over to the right. Little chin tuck, just like one of those first movements that we touched on at the very, very beginning. Two more big breaths. Maybe exaggerating the twist, or maybe just letting it kind of melt into it. Carefully release. Back to the middle. Release what you're grabbing. Again, long legs. Maybe think about getting one leg longer and then the other leg longer. Stretch your arms out as well. Squeeze your shoulder blades into the mat. Let's take one more little movement here. Squeeze your armpits, knees in towards your armpits. So think about this as a final forward fold. Spine in this reclined child's pose, or you could take happy baby as well if you want to grab the edges of your feet. If you're taking happy baby, rest your head on the ground. If you're taking child's pose, make sure your neck feels supported or rested as well. Tailbone down towards the ground as best you can. Inhale one more time. Now with your exhale, bring the soles of your feet together. Release your hands from your feet and just let your diamond-shaped legs fall down towards the floor. Place your hands at the tops of your thighs. Push away a little bit. In this position, the Supra Parakonasana, I like to take my fingertips on my thighs and apply a little bit of pressure. Just a little extra groin stretch here. Take 5 breaths. Go ahead and close your knees back together. Like a big book, slide your heels out towards the corners of your mat and just starting to wind down our practice now. So notice all points of contact with your body and the floor. So as you kind of do this little body scan from head to feet and feet to head, again, noticing that alignment or any discrepancies from side to side along your spine. Just noting that everything radiates off of your spine into the rest of your, it's called your appendicular skeleton, your arms, your legs. So as we wind down our practice today, again, tying everything back to that initial theme of, discussing death and recognizing that we only have a limited time to do the work that we need to do on this planet, in this physical body at least. See if you let your body just get heavy resting on the ground. Just let yourself rest for once. As you feel that grounding sensation begin to grow, feel your hips get heavier, your shoulders get heavier. We're going to do a little kind of combination of a gratitude and a metta, loving kindness meditation. So first, take a moment just to find some gratitude for some part of your life that you kind of consider as some sort of trivial convenience. Something that maybe you don't really acknowledge as much as you probably should, like your car. Noting that this thing that we take for granted gets us from place to place so much faster than walking or taking the bus or riding a bike, even though, those things are definitely healthier for you. Maybe not the bus, but just be grateful that you have access to something like that. And use that same kind of mindset to telescope out to movements that you do on a daily basis. So maybe the act of walking to your car or even driving your car, being able to function with a brain that's able to do all the tasks that we require of ourselves to drive. Or the actual physical motions required to drive a car. If you've ever had a neck injury, driving a car can be really hard. You can't look over your shoulder. It's hard to turn a steering wheel. Just the gratitude to be able to have the body to do something so simple. And finding the gratitude for your yoga practice. Because you know what? We do this physical asana for a reason. Maybe the meditation aspect is arguably more important. But without the physical aspect, a lot of us wouldn't be able to do some of these things. So we come to our mat, we practice keeping our spine young so that we can keep doing things like driving a car, walking, running, surfing, all the things that we love to do. Feel that gratitude wash over your body. Now continuing that sense of gratitude, metta is loving kindness meditation. Bring to mind somebody that you have an uncomplicated and positive relationship with. Doesn't matter who it is, just somebody that you care about. And then wish them well. See if you can devote all of your mental bandwidth to just wishing that person the most positive experience that they can have today. May they be happy, and may they be at peace. Now I'll ask you to bring to mind somebody who maybe you don't have such a positive relationship with, somebody that you care about nonetheless, but somebody that maybe they just did something to you that's irritating. I don't want you to get too deep and profound on this because it could take you down a path that is a little bit much for this gentle yoga practice. But maybe somebody that you just have kind of a contentious relationship with. And don't dwell on it too much, but once you have them in your mind's eye, do the exact same thing. Just see if you can devote all of your mental energy to just wishing them well and just hoping that they're doing okay because they're just doing the best they can. May they be happy and may they be at peace. Now finally, as we wind down our practice today, I want you to bring your own image into your mind's eye. And for a moment, just take an opportunity to remind yourself of all the things that you think are incomplete about yourself, all the ways that you could be better or different, or the way you're not optimal or you're not good enough. And just let it go, just for a minute. Just remind yourself that you too are doing the best that you can. May you be happy and may you be at peace. Once again, soften all the muscles in your face, soften your tongue and your mouth. Take 10 of the deepest breaths that you feel like you can muster and just focus all of your attention on breath. Just dwelling in a sense of love and positivity. Feeling your relaxed spine on the floor. Consider making each breath a little bit bigger than the one before it. Once again, notice the weight of your body on the floor, each point of contact. Calves, heels, hips, shoulders, back, elbows, hands, the back of your skull. Just imagine you can notice a almost blanket of air across the surface of your body. We're going to finish up our practice this morning in this nice relaxed position, or this morning, whatever time it is for you. We're going to relax here on the floor, and I encourage you to stay here as long as you feel like you need to. Just remembering that there's always space to recognize this could be the last time for any of these poses, for any of the things that we do. Find some gratitude in your day-to-day life for this amazing life that we've all been blessed with. Thank you guys. Be well. Namaste.